Hi everyone, Dr. Lisa here. In this video, we're going to continue our talk about hormone and endocrine disruptors. So we're going to spend our time together today going over the top 9 sources of endocrine or hormone disruptors, where you can find them, how they affect the body, and how you can switch to safer so that we're decreasing the effects that hormone and endocrine disruptors have on our body. Now, in part 1 of this series, I talked about what hormone or endocrine disruptors are. Basically, in a nutshell, they are affecting our endocrine or hormone system, which is a very, very delicate balance that helps us with our energy, our sleep patterns, our blood sugar levels, how easy or not easy it is to become pregnant, and how well our bodies adapt to stress. And when that balance is thrown off, it can lead to disease and other health issues. So be sure to subscribe to my channel so that you are getting notified when I post videos, because everything that I talk about on here will include in some way, shape, or form ways to decrease the effects of these hormone and endocrine disruptors on our system so that we can live fruitful, fertile, and really happy lives and not have to be worrying about the effects that these chemicals are having on our body. Okay, so let's get started with number 1. These are not in any particular order, they're all bad for us. So just kind of going down the list here. But number 1 of the 9 top endocrine disruptors that I'm going to be sharing with you today is BPA. And so this is a material found in plastics. It's used in water bottles and Ziploc bags, and also to line the inside of canned foods. So 93% of Americans, super surprising, 93% of Americans have BPA found in their bodies when we do studies. And unfortunately, switching to BPA-free plastic is not always a safer option. BPA kind of has gotten a lot of marketing and headlines in the news, but the things that companies are switching out, a different type of plastic that they're switching out for BPA, is just as bad when it comes to affecting our hormones. So instead, better options are to look for glass, stainless steel, and unbleached parchment paper. BPA has been linked to breast cancer, prostate cancer, infertility, PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, kids going through early puberty, heart disease, and even obesity. Number 2, phthalates. If you've watched some of my other videos, you've probably heard me talk about phthalates because they are available and found in a number of things. Phthalates are used to make plastics soft. So think about all the things that you have in plastic bottles that you need to squeeze out. Phthalates help with that. They're also one of the things found in fragrances, in our personal care products, and they are used to help cosmetics stay on longer. So think about your long-lasting or long-wearing lipsticks, and also the 16-hour foundations. Now, phthalates have been linked to thyroid problems, and our thyroid affects and manages our energy level, also our metabolism, and it also affects testicular cells in men, which probably will then result in infertility challenges. So to avoid phthalates, we want to focus on avoiding personal care products that have the word fragrance, parfum, or perfume in the ingredient list. And I've done a video on fragrance, so go ahead and watch that to get some more information. And take a look at the other videos that I've done for safer swaps for other personal care products to decrease your exposure to phthalates. Also, again, we want to use glass or stainless steel instead of plastic, especially when it comes to reheating our food. So if you are storing things in plastic like Tupperware containers and then reheating them in the microwave in those containers, the phthalates and even the BPA will leach out of those containers and get into your food, and then you're ingesting that when you eat. Unbleached parchment paper or beeswax are something that you can use instead of plastic wrap. And when you're looking for flooring, vinyl flooring, you want to choose phthalate-free options. Number 3 is fire retardants. And this is something that we find a lot in furniture, particularly furniture that's made out of foam. So think about like couches and the couch cushions and mattresses. The chemical here that we're looking at is a long one, so stick with me. Polybrominated diphenyl esters, or PBDEs. And what we have found in the literature with fire retardants is that they lead to lower IQ, so they are affecting our intelligence quotient, and also found in breast milk, which means that we are passing these on to baby. So we want to look for furniture that says that it is made without flame retardants, and actually IKEA is a great place for that. They don't use those chemicals in their furniture. Number 4, and number 4 starts off with the next few in a row where we're dealing with metals or heavy metals. Number 4 is lead, and we know that lead can be harmful to our organs. It is linked to lower IQ, miscarriage, premature birth, kidney damage, and nervous system problems. And there are 3 top places that we want to try and avoid lead. Number 1 is lead-based paint. So if you are in an older home or have had exposure to lead-based paint, you want to make sure that you have that professionally removed. Please don't try to do it yourself. It really, very specific cautions need to be taken when it's being removed. Number 2 would be cosmetics. Our eyeshadows and other powdered type of products, whether they're loose or pressed, and also lipstick, often contain lead in them, and in higher amounts than should be in there. So you want to make sure that you're using a company that you can trust, that is diligent about testing its ingredients from its suppliers, and to be well below the FDA guidelines for lead and other metals. And then the third one is to filter your water. Lead is often found in our drinking water, and so to have either a whole house filtration system, which would be ideal, or at least being able to filter your drinking water and making sure that those filters are filtering out lead. Along those lines, the next one up is arsenic. That is another metal that leads to skin, bladder, and even lung cancer. Again, you want to be filtering your water for that because that is a source of it. And the other source that I think most people don't realize is arsenic can be found in high concentrations in rice. So before you cook rice, you want to make sure that you are rinsing it with water really well. And then also, instead of cooking the rice according to the package directions with the amount of water, you want to use actually more water like you were making pasta, and that will help to lower the arsenic concentrations in it. Number 6 is mercury, also a metal. It ends up in the air and then in the oceans as a result of burning coal. So mercury actually bonds directly to the hormone that regulates women's menstrual cycles and ovulation. So you can see how then that may present some infertility challenges. And one of the places that we find this the most, because it is exposed into the air and then it condenses down and falls into the oceans, is fish. So we want to make sure that we are having wild-caught Alaskan salmon, Pacific sardines, or Atlantic mackerel. Those would be fish sources that have the least amount of mercury in them. Okay, number 7, almost done, guys. Number 7 is a long word called perfluorinated chemicals, or PFCs. 99% of Americans have PFCs in their bodies. They are linked to decreased sperm count in men, low birth weight babies, thyroid disease, and high cholesterol levels. And there are 2 main places that we find them, and they're pretty common. The first one of those is microwave popcorn. So the lining inside the bag of the microwave popcorn bag, so that it doesn't stick, is actually made with these PFCs. So highly recommend that you instead make your own microwave popcorn in a silicone bowl with some popcorn kernels and a little bit of oil. I recommend coconut oil. It is just as easy. It takes maybe 1 or 2 minutes longer than doing regular microwave popcorn, and it's so much healthier for you. The second place that we find PFCs is in our cookware. So Teflon, our wonderful non-stick coating, is actually made with these PFCs. And so what happens is that when we cook, particularly at high heats with these, the chemicals then get into the air and we breathe them in, and it can get into the food, and then we ingest those. So instead of Teflon, you would want to look to stainless steel or cast iron or ceramic. And I am going to be doing an entire video devoted to just cookware coming up very soon. So if you're interested in that, be sure to subscribe to my channel and you'll get notified when I post that video. Okay, 2 more to go. Number 8 is pesticides. And so pesticides can cause a lot of problems that when they're on our food with our gut health and also our nervous system. And so we want to make sure that we are eating organic as much as possible using the Environmental Working Group's Dirty Dozen list, which is the top 12 produce, fruits and veggies that have the most pesticides on them. So if you're looking to not do all organic, but just focus in an area, I would highly recommend choosing organic for the Dirty Dozen. And last but not least, glycol ethers as a source of hormone or endocrine disruptors. We find these in cosmetics, cleaning supplies, and paint. They can lead to infertility and developmental problems for baby. In fact, studies show that children who are exposed to glycol ethers from paint in their bedrooms had substantially more asthma and allergy problems. Now, this is different from lead-based paint, which is no longer sold, but the glycol ethers, you want to look for non-toxic cleaners and also purchase paint that is labeled as no VOC and also has the Green Seal 11 certification on it. So talk to people at your home improvement or paint store about that. And then, as I mentioned, for the non-toxic cleaners part, be sure to go through my past videos and subscribe so that when I do videos on upcoming cleaning supplies, that you'll get notified about that. So thanks for hanging with me through this longer video. I know there was a lot of information in there. If you have questions, please do not hesitate to post them below. I am happy to help, and it really is my something that I enjoy doing to just help you all switch to safer so that we don't have to deal with the bad effects that these chemicals are having on us. So thanks so much, and I will see you in the next video.